A video game is nothing without an amazing opening to suck you in. In only a few minutes, they need to give you the proper exposition and keep things fun. A quick tutorial level will not cut it. These are openings that perfectly set up the mood and mechanics of the game. It's a difficult task that many fall short of. Join us as we rank the 10 best video game openings of all time. Before we begin, remember to hit that subscribe button to level up and join our notification squad. Medal of Honor Frontline. Before Activision took the gaming world by storm with Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Before EA kickstarted massive online multiplayers with the Battlefield franchise. Medal of Honor was one of the biggest military first-person shooters around. This now dormant series focused on authentically recreating major events of World War II. Most notably, Frontline throws you headfirst into the most iconic battle in the war, D-Day. You play as Lieutenant James Stephen Patterson, tasked with storming Omaha Beach as part of Operation Overlord. You start on a Higgins boat, trying to evade German airstrikes as you inch your way to the shore. You land on that blood-soaked sand, forced to fight for your life. Slowly but surely, you begin to take over the beach from the Germans. Frontline's opening is like something ripped straight out of the first scene of Saving Private Ryan. That's not actually shocking when you realize that Steven Spielberg helped create the game series. It's a thrilling sequence filled with dread and fear. All the backlash Call of Duty's received for abandoning its World War II roots seems justified. It's no wonder that they're going back to it this year. There is no era more suited for video games, and this opening proves that. The Force Unleashed. There's only one word to describe the opening to The Force Unleashed. Epic. Actually, that's the only word to describe the entire game. It's set between the events of Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, right after the execution of Order 66 by Emperor Palpatine and the devastating Jedi Purge. The story begins with Darth Vader, who's ordered by Palpatine to hunt down surviving Jedi across the galaxy. It kicks off with its own opening scroll, an iconic staple in the Star Wars series, complete with John Williams' brilliant score. Fade in to reveal several Star Destroyers making their way to the Wookiee planet of Kashyyyk. We've got a bad feeling about this. As they land, you suddenly assume control of Darth Vader himself. Vader is on a mission to destroy a Jedi named Kento Marek, and no one's going to stop him. You're given an immense amount of power, the ability to force choke and slash your way towards your destination. This scene also introduces the main protagonist, Galen Marek. Yep, after killing his father, Vader raises Galen as his Sith apprentice. It's a grandiose and effective opening to an original and exciting Star Wars story. Hey guys, we're very excited to announce the Premium Network. The Premium gets you early access to videos from The Richest, Screen Rant, The Taco, The Sportster, The Things, and many other great channels. Literally thousands of videos in one place with ad-free browsing. Check out the Premium by clicking this link. Sign up for free and start binge-watching videos from your favorite channels. Assassin's Creed II. It was hard to choose just one Assassin's Creed game for this spot. Each has such a dynamic and inventive way to guide you into the world. But after much debate, we went with number 2. The first few minutes are beautifully poignant and breathtaking. Ubisoft has you assume the role of a young, charismatic Italian named Ezio Auditore, before he eventually becomes one of the most ruthless and deadliest assassins in history. You witness what caused Ezio's transformation as he grows up. But even before that, your first task is much more pressing. You need to race your brother through the rooftops of Florence. Okay, we know, that sounds like a pretty lame way to introduce an assassin, but think of it this way. It sets up Ezio's close relationship with his family, which plays a major role in the plot. Then, it also cleverly teaches you the game's platforming mechanics. In a matter of minutes, Ubisoft pulls off a difficult task for most games, kickstarting a complex story while also setting up the fundamentals of gameplay, not to mention the mesmerizing score that makes its grand appearance. All of this combined results in the best introduction to a main character in the entire franchise. The Last of Us. Get the tissue box out. This opening sets up The Last of Us's dark tone with one of the saddest introductions to any game. It acts as a prologue to the main story, set 20 years earlier on the first night of the outbreak. As a younger Joel, you're tasked with keeping your young daughter alive through what has become a living hell. Both armed forces and zombie-like infected are after you as you trek through the town and forest. Naughty Dog puts an incredible amount of responsibility on the player from the start. They set you up for a challenging challenging and emotionally draining journey for the rest of the game. You see how quickly the humanity in people is washed out by fear. The Last of Us's opening level has action, high stakes, and a devastating death right at the end. Joel's daughter is shot by a soldier who thought that you were infected. Her tragic death is played out in full, and Joel breaks down with her in his arms. This moment perfectly explains Joel's coldness towards Ellie later on. Better yet, it shows you that no one is safe in this world, not even the main characters. Fallout 3. Ask anyone who's played over 100 hours of Fallout 3 what their favorite moment was. Most will definitely say that it was the first time you exit Vault 101. After being raised by your father in the safe confines of the vault, you have to venture outside, then try to find and save him once chaos erupts in the vault. What's most effective about this opening is the fact that you start out as a toddler and slowly grow up. Bethesda Softworks cleverly shows players what it's like living in a vault. It starts off in a small community in which everyone knows each other. Everything is going fine. You can attend class and there's always food to eat. It's the most normal life you can have in this post-apocalyptic version of Washington, D.C. Then, just like that, you're cast out and it all gets taken away from you. While fighting for your life and gunning down ghouls, you always have the memories of living in Vault 101 in the back of your mind. That happy childhood underground is sadly an exception to the rule for life in this world. You truly realize just how much humanity is lost in the aftermath of this nuclear war. Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII is arguably the most popular and beloved entry in the series. From the memorable characters to the tight turn-based gameplay, it's got it all. It's also got a killer opening. Things kick off with a fast-paced mission where Team Avalanche must complete a bombing operation. You play as the mysterious warrior named Cloud. He is also paired with his grumpy sidekick, Barrett. They're essentially performing a terrorist attack on the city of Midgar. You don't fully realize the stakes and the reasoning behind this mission, not until well into the opening, when the game quickly sets up the main conflict. Midgar is dying due to the overuse and exploitation of Mako energy, or the planet's life stream. This opening establishes a central theme that anyone can get behind, putting an end to the misuse of a planet's natural resources. From there, you venture to the slums of Midgar, meet a mysterious woman named Aerith, and defend her from the vicious Turks. There's a great balance of heavy exposition and action scenes that keeps things from getting boring. It's an action-packed opening to a near flawless role-playing game. A remake of the game is in the works and set to release soon. We cannot wait to finally relive this scene in glorious HD. What about you? Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4's first chapter is filled with non-stop action and countless demented townspeople hellbent on murdering you. Main character Leon S. Kennedy arrives at a mysterious and nameless village in Spain. It starts out with a meandering and slow-paced walkthrough in a quaint little town. Then, it quickly devolves into an all-out battle against a mindless and vicious cult. You have to maneuver around through houses, searching for supplies, and trying not to get killed. It's a perfect way to teach you the mechanics by throwing you into a life or death situation. The game also introduces one of the toughest and most iconic enemies in video game history, the Chainsaw Man, who loves to wear a paper bag over his head. Sound familiar? This was the beginning of the over-the-shoulder action approach that the future games would adopt. Some criticize it for removing the horror elements from the series. By focusing more on gunplay, the game would become too easy, but no one can play this opening and not be both terrified and wholly entertained. Once you do manage to escape, you realize that it will be unlike any Resident Evil game you've played before. Uncharted II. Naughty Dog has been very successful recently, but they weren't always the critical darling they are today. Before Uncharted II, people were questioning whether Naughty Dog could pull off a third-person action-adventure game. Their biggest claim to fame was the kid-friendly Crash Bandicoot series. They showed promise with the Jak and Daxter series, but it certainly wasn't the best platformer on PlayStation 2. While the first Uncharted is engaging, it still contains a few poor design choices. However, from the first moments, Uncharted 2 promises to be one of the most ambitious action titles ever made. Nathan Drake wakes up to find himself trapped on a train that's about to fall off of a cliff. You're thrown straight into the action with no context, and so is Nathan. Wounded and slowly dying, you have to climb your way up the train and painfully crawl towards safety. Hopefully you're not afraid of heights. The train is designed like a rock climbing wall as you use chairs and rails to propel yourself up. With every shake or jump, the environment shifts and moves, making the climb that much more intense. It's a riveting introduction, and Uncharted 2 never slows down for the 8 hours that follow. Metal Gear Solid. We start 6 years after Metal Gear 2 and the downfall of Zanzibar Land. Solid Snake is dragged out of retirement by Colonel Campbell, sent on a mission to stop the renegade Special Forces unit Foxhound. They're a team of genetically enhanced villains with a nuclear-armed Metal Gear. They will use it if they don't receive the remains of Big Boss and $1 billion in 24 hours. It's up to Snake to stop them. The opening cinematic is gorgeous as Snake emerges from the sea straight into the first playable area. MGS was the series' first entrance into 3D, and they took full advantage of that. Immediately, you begin experimenting with the top-down stealth mechanics and combat moves. You attack a guard, but he gets up and calls for help. After the first alert warning, you quickly realize that you can't just shoot your way through the whole game. Then, take a ride up the elevator and enter the mad and action-packed world of Shadow Moses Island. Hideo Kojima's expert level design really shines through here. Every enemy, sound effect, and wall is placed precisely to ease the player into the game. It would be the best opening of all time, but there was just one better. Bioshock. They told me, son, you're special. You were born to do great things. You know what? They were right. It's the only line from main character Jack, and reason enough for this to top the list. Instantly, the mysterious mood is set as you begin on a plane with no information. Then the plane crashes in the middle of the ocean and you slowly make your way towards a mysterious lighthouse. As you enter the lighthouse, you're greeted with a large bust of Andrew Ryan, with a sign that promises the world you're about to enter is unlike anything above the surface. You make your way to a bathysphere. Ryan's video message plays, and the city of Rapture is unveiled. Bioshock's opening is awe-inspiring, filled with wonder and intrigue. The first time you witness the beauty of Rapture is an unforgettable video game moment. You think, this place is pretty cool. Then, you slowly exit the vehicle and the haunting voices of the splicers fade in. What follows is a terrifying realization that this gorgeous underwater city is filled with murderous citizens and big daddies. Instead of exploring a beautiful world, you have to survive a haunting dystopian city. Do you agree with our picks? What's your favorite video game opening? Please let us know in the comments below. Be sure to like this video and share it with a friend. Then, check out our playlist for more awesome videos and definitely subscribe to keep up to date with the gamer. Thanks for watching!